Hi, I'm Brad, and I'm 12 years old. Every day, I would usually be in a nice big park. A park full of kids playing in the swings, seesaws, and other wonderful attractions for kids. Everyone felt so happy and merry. One afternoon, while many of them were busy, I was sitting on a swing set, alone and motionless, thinking if I should approach the other kids to see if I could play with them. But I was rather shy, so I just continued sitting on the same swing for another period of time, waiting and sitting until I felt that I had to go home. When the time came, I just stood up and started walking to my house since it was just around the corner. It took me a while to reach the side of the whole park, seeing that I was so small, and I was walking in a slow pace in a place with countless patches of grass. While walking alone, I suddenly heard a strange noise out of nowhere. I heard a terrible shriek from a distance. It pierced my ears with its loudness, but I just didn't mind it. Until that same voice turned from a shriek into a gentle weep. I continued walking, but when I kept moving, the sound would just keep approaching from my back. So I walked a little faster. The sound kept chasing me from my back until I decided to face my back with fear. Nothing. There was no sight of anything anymore. The kids disappeared, and the park was abandoned. I started to feel bothered by the sight of everything since the sunshine was fading away already, and it started to get dark and gloomy. The gloominess made me a little more frightened. I was about to continue walking when something shiny on the ground caught my attention. I picked it up, only to find that it was a silver diamond ring. It didn't look like it was here for long, since the metal wasn't dirted that much from the soil of the grass, and it had some kind of lingering scent. A scent that was putrid. But it almost gave a fresh lavender touch to it. I thought that someone lost it, so I went walking back to the park to see if someone was trying to look for it. I wish I'd never picked up that ring. I wish that I never went back. The sun has set and the sky started to fade into a shade of black. Fortunately, the park was surrounded by orange streetlights, but that made me feel a little less comfortable than what I was already feeling. I looked everywhere. I looked at the benches. I looked at the back of the trees, and just to make sure, I also looked everywhere in the playground. No one. At first I thought that I was all alone, but something in my mind told me that I'm not. I started to give up on the search, so I just started to walk away from the park, holding tight to the ring. But I was correct. I was not alone. I gave one last stare behind my back, and I finally saw a girl sitting on a patch of grass. She looked like she was in her 20s and was wearing an all-white dress with an expressionless face. I started to approach her, walking slowly and steady. But every step I take, I noticed that her face started to become sad. Every step I take, she started to weep louder and louder. Every step I take, something red started to flow onto a beautiful dress, making it look filthy. Finally, the last step I took, I gave a stare just to see a beautiful creature change into a hyper-realistic paranormal horror actress, but minus the acting and more of the horror. She started to turn her head to my face. Her face was covered with bloody tears and scars, her eyes all black and red with blood. I took a step back and she started to stand up. Her dress, that looked like it belonged to an angel, has now turned into a black, torn up dress drenched in dark pure blood. She finally started to talk. "Give me my ring." I screamed. I started to run and escape from her, but she started to chase me. It looked like she was onto a ring that I was still holding on tight. I didn't know where to go, but I kept running and she kept chasing. It took me a while to try and lose her by running around the park a few times, but I was able to do it. I decided to hide for a while behind a tree. I was able to distract her attention, but I know she was close by. I took some more time, and I was able to rest until I hear a familiar weep. It was the same weep I heard when I first found the ring. I shivered. I know she was close since it kept coming close to my direction. It took a few seconds until she finally showed up. I screamed. I tried to run, but she finally got me and grabbed me by the shirt, like how bullies grab the shirt of their victims. She put me up against the tree, and she tried to grab the ring from me. I hid my hand that contained the ring behind my back, and when she tried to get my hand, I accidentally scratched the ring against the tree. She gave a good shriek and let me go. I started to run away again. The ring had some kind of voodoo on her, so I know what I had to do. While we had the game of hide and seek, I tried to think of how to destroy the ring. It was odd that wherever I went, I couldn't find any rock sturdy enough to try break the ring. So I had to try think of another plan. I started to discreetly head to the playground, but she finally caught sight of me when I was a few steps away from the playground. She was furious and she looked like she was raging with fear. She started to head towards me while I, breathless, gave a few seconds of stillness and started to run again towards the swings where my usual sitting spot would be. The swing set, like always, has two swings that uses a thick wooden base for a seat and ropes for handles. One of the swings are sturdy, where I usually sit, and the other is unstable since one of the ropes of the other swings is wearing out. I tried to break the rope of the other swing in order to clash the ring between the two wooden bases. Every tug I take, the girl would get closer. I started to panic and tug faster until I was able to break the swing. When she was about 20 steps away, I put the ring down on one of the bases and started to powerfully hammer it with the other. The girl started to get hurt, like she was being pounded by an unknown force. The ring was about to crack in a few more hits, but she was near me. When I only needed one hit left, she finally grabbed me by the neck. I couldn't breathe by how she was choking me, but I didn't give up. I gave one last powerful smash with the wooden base and the ring cracked. Her body started to get wary, and she let go of me. She gave me one last, final squeal, and she fainted. I suddenly saw a blinding light. I woke up, not knowing that I had fell asleep on the swing set, dreaming of what mostly felt real. The kids were still in the playground as usual, and I didn't see any sight of that weird girl. I felt relieved and thought of what had just happened. After my nightmare, I decided to what I was supposed to do. Go home. I had a gentle smile on my face. The face and the feeling of being relieved that nothing I experienced was real. I kept walking in a slow pace until I faced back. The park was abandoned, and I found a ring inside my pocket.